Welcome to MTG Friends, I'm Ryan. Let's go ahead and talk about how to spot a fake part 2. If you haven't checked out part 1, check it out in the link above. Alright, let's dive in. So in the previous episode, we talked about some of the well-known ones like the light test, the bend test, and a few others like using a jeweler's loop to check out the jewelettes, etc., etc. So in this one, we're going to cover 3 different ones. One of them is going to be the weight test, the thickness test, and also there's a really cool way that we can check out one of the dots, one of the jewels on the back of real Magic cards, and we'll go over that one last. That one is very cool and very effective. Alright, first up is the weight test. We're using a Fusion here, not affiliated, so just use one that is decent and can weigh things in ounces and also grams. It has a nice little weight here to make sure that it's calibrated correctly. It's nice and zeroed out, and it's under ounces. So let's put a real card on there, and notice it's 0.063. That is right about where all real cards should be, 0.063. That one's a little off, but that is an actual card. So you're going to have it roughly around 0.063. Now here's a fake one. So it's a little off, but it's pretty close. Now what this really does and is very helpful for, because that's a fake one and it's right in line. What it's really helpful with is rebacking of cards. So if you're not super familiar with rebacking of a card, it's basically where somebody might take, say, a gold bordered collector's edition card, and they'll slice this ever so carefully in half and take the gold bordered one and put a regular one on it and then re-glue them back together. Well, that's really going to throw off the weight. It's not going to be quite like having 2 cards in one, but it's definitely not going to be 0.063. It's going to be much more than that, relatively speaking. So rebacking is a really useful tool for catching that kind of stuff. So that's the weight test. Definitely don't do just that. You want to do that in tandem, in parallel with other tests. The next test is actually checking the thickness with calipers. Alright, so you got some calipers here, and it's zeroed out, and what you do is on an actual card, you put it in there ever so carefully, and you check the thickness, and it's going to be 0.30 or 0.31, right around there. That is the correct thickness. Again, this is going to catch anybody trying to do rebacks of cards, because if you do a fake, they are typically going to be right in line with that as well. So let's do it again here. And I don't actually have any rebacked cards, so otherwise I would show an example. I will show you up on the screen. And like you see, you got regular thickness of cards is going to be right around 0.30, 0.31. If you get a reback, it's going to be much larger than that, relatively speaking. So you got the weight test, the thickness test, and then a really great one here is the green jewel on the back of an actual Magic card. So what you'll do is you'll turn on your jeweler's loop, you'll get it onto the green, and then what you'll do is you'll look in the light area of that dot, and you're going to see a red L made with red dots. Notice it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 red dots, and that is gonna be there on an actual bona fide MTG card. Now, if you grab a fake card, that will not be present, at least as of this recording. You know, fakes are always getting better, they're always trying to improve, but this is a really good way to make sure that you've got a legitimate real card on your hands. Again, you should do multiple tests on cards. I tend to do the red L dots in the green jewel. I tend to do the light test as well. And then if I'm really thinking there's something funky going on with a card and it's a high-end priced card, I'll also do the thickness and the weight test and just make sure that nobody's getting screwed over. These are 3 additional ways to spot a fake. With the first part and the second part, you're going to have lots and lots of tools to be able to make sure that the cards you are purchasing are real, are not faked, and that you are getting the value that you should. All right, thanks for tuning in. Check out our other episodes. Hit subscribe if you're new, hit that like button, and also check out our other content. Thanks for supporting the channel.